Here's another gathering technique, and this is reminiscent of the smocking over gathers that was demonstrated in a previous video. This is called cartridge pleating, and here it's done on wool, a herringbone wool, so the gathering is not reliant on any stripes showing. It's simply the fabric itself that's been gathered, and it's been hemmed on the inside of the fabric already, and the wool has been interfaced on the inside as well. So it's a wool that would be jacket or coat weight, and it gives a very nice, distinct kind of gathering here with the interfacing and the double weight of the wool. So how we go about doing this, and here is another piece of wool, and what I've done on the wrong side is I've interfaced the hem. I have about a 4-inch hem here. So my fabric is being hemmed already. And it depends. If you didn't want a big hem here, you could always do a smaller kind of a hem. That's up to you. But what I've created here, after I have interfaced the fabric and turned it over so that I have the hem, so we're looking at the wrong side of the fabric here, I have drawn a grid onto my fabric. Now the grid size is up to you. I'm using 1 inch by 1 inch, so my spacing in between is 1 inch, my spacing down is 1 inch, and once again I've done a gathering stitch, so I'm going over my 1 inch, under my 1 inch, over, under, and repeating that for as many rows of stitching that I'm going to create here. Once again, use strong thread so you can pull this and you won't have your thread breaking. And this is the wrong side, so when I pull my gathering threads, I have my cartridge pleating created, and this is on the wrong side, as I mentioned. We can anchor that in, but on the correct side you'll have your cartridge pleats. Now on the wrong side, if I put a pin at the end of my pleating and then take my threads and just temporarily figure 8 them around my pin, that should hold my pleating in place. But ultimately you'll have to stitch those gathering threads more firmly to the fabric so that you can hold all of your pleating in place. On the wrong side of the fabric, this isn't objectionable to having that perhaps against the skin for a cuff, but if you wanted to put your lining down to the end here, that could be done, or you could put your lining to this point here where the actual raw edge is. But it's just another way of creating gathers. It's called cartridge pleating. Simple to do. Again, nice in wool because it gives much definition to your pleats. Interface, whatever your hem is going to be. Turn your fabric over, create your grid, put your thread through your grid and gather your thread. And then you created your cartridge pleats. Another technique.